off-road. And while it seems the only difference between the two is the size of the cars, there's a lot more to it. There's a saying in motorsport that says the race is won in the workshop. So while most of us like to throw our support the way of our favorite drivers, there are a lot of unsung heroes in the garages that make victory possible. Everything from running repairs to machining of unique race car parts happens at their headquarters in Joburg. The rally team have enjoyed some success recently, having earned top honors at the Volkswagen Rally. What a sweet victory that must have been. The off-road team weren't so lucky, with both drivers managing to put a few dents in the metalwork. If you follow local motorsport, you'll be familiar with names like Serge Danzo, Mark Cronier, Bevan Berthold, but they rely on a key group of guys to provide them with the machines they need to compete. Team leader for the off-road crew is Mark Jordan. Mark, the Hilux V6 engine is fairly new to competition. Do you use sort of tried and trusted methods to develop the engine, or are you learning on the job all the time?
We're basically learning as we go along. The engine boys are already busy with engine development.
There's obviously a lot of modification on these cars. Are they similar at all to the production vehicles?
Not much. It's basically just cosmetics that is the same as a standard vehicle, other than that it's all changed. Engine-wise, the configuration's the same, it's just modified.
That's putting it mildly. All race teams understandably keep their figures a closely guarded secret, but it's safe to say that these machines are a shade quicker than the Hilux in your garage. Now, the last race, your driver, Mark Cronier, he was in the lead by quite a way, and a kilometre before the end, he managed to go a bit off track and lose the race. How does that make you feel?
It's disheartening, but we know that if we can bounce back from this, it will only make the team stronger. It's still a young team, there's a lot to learn.
They won't have to scratch their heads too much to figure out how to fix Mark's car, but Bevan's will require a bit more effort. On the other side of the garage, Jean Els keeps his operation running smoothly. Jean, it seems like your job requires a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas. What's your background?
I was lucky enough to start at Motorsport fresh out of school. I worked there on Enzo's car for 2 years, and when he left to go to Daewoo, I went with him, and I was on Saddle from the Mavis car for a year at Daewoo. Then I heard about the job at Toyota, and I applied for it, and I've been here ever since. It's been 10 years.
What we see on television, obviously, is all the racing that happens during the weekend, but there must be a lot that goes on between races.
The Monday after the event's a bit more relaxed. The cars will get offloaded, they'll get washed, then they get stripped, and a damage assessment gets done so that we can order all the parts that come from overseas. The parts, once the cars are stripped, will get washed again. They'll get sent away for crack testing, and they'll all get refurbished, checked, and built up again.
The whole process is rather intensive, and it all takes place on their premises with a dedicated crew. Engines get put on a dyno to check their performance, and the shock absorbers are removed and put on their own dyno to check if they're still usable. Gearboxes are stripped, every nut and bolt checked, then it's all reassembled with special care taken to put the right loads and ratios back in place.
Then when everything's done, that normally takes up to a week and a half to refurbish all the parts. Then the cars get put back together again, and we go testing.
And for you, what's the more disappointing way to end a race, mechanical failure or driver error?
They're both equally disappointing, because you work hard in the workshop to try and get the cars ready and right for the rally, and when they make a mistake, it's quite disappointing, but also human, and the speeds they travel, they're on the limits. It's so close now in S2000, so that happens. And obviously mechanical failure, we'll see what the problem was and why it happened, and just try and make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Brian Eads is Toyota's GM for Marketing Communications and PR. The man with a big title still finds time to visit the workshop. Who makes the decision on which cars go into the rally?
We decide which vehicles need which type of promotion. So, say for example, the Run X or its replacement Aurus, which will be announced in the next week or so. Those vehicles need to be shown to be exciting to the public. They need to be shown to have speed and to be youthful. So Runx and Aurus, definitely, we put those into the rally circuit. If you look at the Hilux off-road racing, most of those races are in more rural areas. So we're able to display the durability and the strength of Hilux in those really tough conditions.
The company has made an impression in the S2000 class, so much so that they've picked up an international customer or two.
Well, so far we've sent 2 cars to Europe. We've got one running in the UK, and a team from Italy is arriving next week to assemble a car. So that's step 2. They'll be coming out to take a car across.
Toyota's rally chief Whammy Haddad is currently overseas putting the final touches to the new Aurus rally car.
So when Whammy gets back, hopefully we'll have some documentation, and we hope to have the first prototype vehicle up and running by around about October this year, and full homologation by December.